for stage 1. For us, it's actually stage 4 of the match. And this one should be a good time. It's a good one to start on. Nothing super complex, just some technical positions we got to make sure to hit. And big thing is knowing where you got to go. And at this match, what I've seen is a lot of hidden targets, little gotcha targets. And those are targets that you can only see from one spot, and it's easy to run past. So those are ones that I want to make sure that I really lock into my stage plan so I don't run past them, obviously, because that's a penalty we don't want to have.
Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by.
It was a pretty decent run overall. Good way to start the match. I had one weird malfunction with the rifle where I don't know if it was a failure to fully seat. That's what it felt like. When that happened, you could see I had to mortar the rifle. And yeah, I try to rack it. Nothing's moving. So the second best is to quickly mortar on your knee. So the important thing with that is we want to apply tension to the charging handle as I mortar. Now, when we hit that on the ground, you can break the buffer tube at the back of the receiver. In this case, I just ripped my finger pretty good when I slammed it on my knee, and I'll probably end up with a nice little bruise there on my thigh later on. All right, so on that last stage, we already talked about that malfunction a little bit, but I want to bring up a quick point for you. Anytime that you have something that's going to be disruptive to your stage plan, the biggest thing you can do that'll help you out in those situations is don't dig yourself any deeper. Take that pause, take a deep breath, and get back to your original stage plan as quickly as possible. As you can see from this one, I dealt with the malfunction, went right back to the target that I left off on, and didn't let it affect the rest of my stage. One issue that we see all the time is the snowball effect, where you have a big problem or even a little problem that just compounds and compounds and compounds because you're trying to go faster to accommodate, to make up for that time that you lost with whatever the issue is. So whether it's an unplanned reload, malfunction like this happened, you forgot a target, you had to step back to it, whatever it is, go back to your original stage plan as quickly as you can, and that's going to help you save a lot of time in the long run. So this stage has a spinner target, and these things can be pretty simple, but they can also get in your head if you don't know the timing of it. What I like to do is try to put 1 or 2 shots up top or on the bottom, and then obviously get the timing as it's swinging away from you. You want to hit directly in the middle of the plate as it's going away from you. One of the big issues that we see is people moving their pattern to more on the arm, and this is just not giving you any leverage. The higher on the plate you can get, the better. The more pattern you can get on the plate, the better. So what I'm going to do on this one is come in, hit the top plate twice, and try to hit the bottom plate 3 times as it comes by. So it's going to be swinging away from me here. I'm going to hit 1, 2, 3. It's going to have to be pretty quick, and it's important to make sure we have really good structure when we start doing that.
Okay, bye.
So it's not ideal to change your stage plan right as you walk up to the starting position, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It's also a good reason to double check the stage briefing. When I walked it the first time this morning, I read the stage briefing, I was positive I saw that you could shoot that paper with slug, But then the RO caught is like, oh, you can't. So glad you let me know ahead of time. So what I did was, instead of just having to set myself way back, all I did was just slightly modify my stage plan. So I just added one position with pistol, running back here to the corner to pick up that swinger and that little mini paper with pistol instead of picking that up with slug. So not a huge change, a quick visualization of the stage, and we executed pretty good. All right, so when it comes to candy cane stages, especially like this one that's really kind of a cluster, I like to write it down on my phone, the order that I want to shoot the shotgun shells, and then if it's really complicated like this one, I'm gonna lay it out and actually pay attention to when I load this up. So this is my bottom half of the mag. I've got 8 bird shot in the bottom half of my mag. Then I've got buck, slug, then my 2 bird shot, then slug, buck. These are the first ones that are gonna come out of the gun. So I've got 6 rounds at the top of my mag. I'm gonna shoot. We got 3 for the door. If I make it 1, then I can burn the other 2. And I got 3 for the clays at the beginning of the stage. Then I've got buck slug for those first 2 targets. Turn, we got a clay for another bird shot, an activator for a bird shot. Then I've got slug, buck for those last 2. Then I can do a reload, or if I have any other shots to make up, I can make them up with this bird shot. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes.
Stand by! If you're finished unloading, show for it.
All right, so that last stage, that was a doozy. A stage with candy canes requires a lot of mental preparation and a lot of stage execution. And you have to plan in contingency. So on that stage, I had a contingency mag with 2 slugs and 2 buck on top, just in case things got really bad. As soon as I got through the door, I knew I had to burn 1 bird because I had an extra 1 in there. I burned it, and then I went up and just shot that buckshot target too quickly. I should have taken just a microsecond longer to let the sight settle on the paper plate, so I missed that one. And then mentally, I'm like, oh shit, do I go for my backup mag, or do I move on and just take the penalties? In this case, I took the penalties. It's one of those things you have to decide on the fly. You know, I can decide ahead of time a little bit, but I knew with this mag I have 2 slugs on top. I'm gonna have to switch mags, rack 2 out, move back over there. It wasn't gonna be worth it. Or it'd be really close. Maybe I could, you know, be positive, net positive by a second or maybe even 2 seconds, but it's not gonna be much. And for the hiccup in the stage plan, in that case, I'm just gonna take the penalties and move on. Overall, I ran the stage well. I still executed the rest of my stage plan effectively. Pretty happy with it overall, but it's gonna hurt a little bit. So now we're gonna dive into a big old 44 round shotgun stage and see what happens with that. Stand by! Hit! Hit! All right, that was a lot of freaking shotgun shells, but it was a lot of fun. So that stage, when it comes down to jungle run, it's all about remembering what you gotta shoot, when you gotta shoot it, when you gotta reload, and don't take too many makeup shots. All right, guys, that is a wrap for day 1 of the Florida State Multi-Gun Championship, and we had a blast today. There's some unique challenges, some really fun stages. I had a lot of fun shooting. I haven't shot a major match like this in quite a while, But if you didn't get a chance to shoot it this year, definitely try to get in this match next year. It is January in Florida and we're wearing short sleeves. It's fantastic. The cool thing about this range is we have long range, we have some cool jungle runs that you guys got to see here. But one thing that I'll tell you, tomorrow is a new day. We got a whole bunch more shooting to do. James isn't gonna be here behind the camera, so we're gonna have to make do, and I'll give you the results here in a little bit.
Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by.
Motherfucker, get in the gun.
Hit. 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 Hit.
Shit.
Got one more left.
No.
Hit.
All right, guys, James isn't here today, so I'm doing this handheld and using the phone. That being said, we just finished up stage one. This was a super fun stage and kind of all the things that I like about 3-gun, because we had a theme stage with the heat theme where we're pulling the money bag out of the car and trying to escape, doing a little horseshoe through this stage here, the little mini bay. And then you have some technical stuff, shooting off of a ramp, shooting through ports, turning the rifle side to side, and then of course finish off with some shotguns. So really fun stage, well designed, some harder shots mixed in with some easy shots that are just fun to burn down. And overall, I was pretty happy with it. Now there's a couple things I could have improved on there. One, my reload on top of the car. I wanted to have a shorter mag on top of the van because I knew I'm running a bipod, and that's important that I don't hit that mag on top of the car. So if I kept my 50 round D-mag with extension on there, that probably would have hit the top of the car. I would have been balancing on that. So that's something you got to know about your gear. Second thing, laying out your slugs a little bit better. For me, I thought I put Orin in the last minute. I put 2 more slugs on top. First couple shots with slug, after all that running, I was just off balance. So I settled in, made sure I got my 1 hit. I thought I was out of slugs. I looked down, I saw an extra slug in my mag. I'm like, oh shit, I sucked that in the gun and shot those last 2 shots and got the hit. So we shot it clean. I was happy about that. Definitely left a little meat on the bone on the run there. But overall, great freaking stage.
Stand by.
Get out of there. That bottom one's bouncing.
You're hitting the center rail. Over.
Moving.
Over. If you're finished unloading, show clear.
I was smoking, dude.
Was
it pink? One clay.
That's right, one clay, yeah.
That was rough. There's a lot of time to be made up there on the rifle stuff.
You have such a long technical stage. It's, you know,
Yeah.
everything's so perfect.
Well, we had a flat-footed reload with pistol.
Like,
Had too many makeups on that plate rack.
you started shooting that rack, I'm like, why didn't you do it this thing?
I got 29 rounds, bro. I shouldn't have needed a pistol reload.
You didn't think you were gonna have that many makeup?
I had like 5 makeups on that first plate. So that was a little issue. And then on the rifle, definitely did not anticipate going to war like that. Part was just stability. And then that bottom plate on the flipper did not want to flip. He said I was hitting middle bar. I think it was hitting the arm of the plate.
Yeah, I don't think you were hitting it.
Because it was going behind and it would pop back out.
I knew you weren't hitting the middle, but I knew you weren't drilled in
Yeah.
the center either, so.
Got it done though. Fun stage. A lot of fun on that one. Just plenty of time to make up time there. Really hoping to do better on the rifle. That was a lot of makeup shots that shouldn't have happened. I'm just not stable enough in that position. Not holding carefully enough. Settling down. Lessons to learn, right? Always room to improve. Roof. The tire I felt fine on. He said that I was bouncing that plate because I wasn't hitting it dead on. Obviously that was the case. I was hitting the arm of it. It would disappear behind the pole and I moved up and it would pop back out. So I had to hold a little bit farther out on the plate. That's honestly, it's one of those things that there are certain targets that are more equitable than others. A dueling tree is not an equitable target because it requires leverage to flip that plate over. If you're running a lighter load, you hit it closer in on the bar, I don't think that's a great target. I don't like seeing those, especially in a major match. If it's lubricated, you know, it'll swing back or forth easier. If you have one plate that catches somewhere on there, that's why falling steel is always the best route for match equity, because once it falls down, it's down. Like there's no arguing that. Yeah, it is what it is. You got to play with the hand that you're dealt, and honestly, it's still a super fun stage. Apparently, I still had the fastest overall time, so I'll take it. All right, when it comes to awkward positions in a 3-gun match, this is one of them. We want to figure out how we're going to use this barricade. You know, we know this is our shooting area, so there's a couple options here. I can go off the top of this tire up here, but it's not a great position. We can go off the side of it. We can go off the top of this tire, but then we're getting really low. So what I like to figure out is where will my rifle sit and be stable? And then where do I need to get to make sure that I can get in behind it? So what I chose to do with this one is 2 knees down. I wanted to do a reverse kneel because this is a preferred position for me, but 2 knees down just to get a little bit lower. And then what I like to do with this is push that rifle farther up on here so I can get my forearm on this barricade as well. Once I get that established as where I want to be behind the gun, then I want to make sure that I can reverse engineer it. So when I pull the gun out, I can put my feet and my knees exactly where they need to go to get behind the gun effectively and quickly. Stability is the key when it comes to getting a long-range targets quickly. If you have a makeup shot that takes a lot of time, so try to go 1-for-1s. That's your quick tip on barricades for 3-gun long range. All right, where do you want my hands?
Both hands on the steering wheel to start.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Hit! 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 1, 2. If finished, unload and show clear.
Hey, let the target out there. Far left.
Yeah.
Hit.
There you go. How you finish? 89.95.
All right, guys, this is the last stage for us. Stage 3 of the match, but final stage for me. We started on stage 4 and had a great time yesterday. A little chilly, overcast today. We got beautiful sunshine, perfect weather for shooting, and had an absolute blast. Now, this stage is a long-range stage. Targets all the way up to 600 yards and a whole bunch of them. Lots of fun on this stage, right up until the end, and I realized there was one target left. And it took me 14 seconds to load my gun up and take that last shot. Overall, I'm happy with how we shot. Really enjoy the stages and how the whole the whole feel of the match was, and I'm looking forward to next year.